Is there any hope for Disney in 2024? With a proxy battle heating up and lots of names being thrown into the ring for the CEO position, there are lots of things that could be done to improve the future of the Walt Disney Company. Whether it's a change in the C-suite, that's the top-level leadership of the Walt Disney Company, or maybe even some studio heads moving on. The question, of course, is, will Disney do anything? Let's talk about that on That Park Place. I'm Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, where we talk about streaming, theme parks, entertainment, and video games. We were asked on a live stream what our predictions were for Disney over the next year and whether or not we had hope that Disney will be able to course correct in 2024. Let's get into it. Space Dave 2000 for 5 Canadian. Pro Culture Jonas, you started this year off with deep hope and positivity for Disney, but reality set in and its true colors have shown. Is there hope? Culture? Why don't you go first?
I think it's gonna hinge on the linchpin of the board, and whether or not we get anybody on the slate that actually will, force change. If that happens, and if some of the predictions we just went through were to come about, I think maybe, just maybe, sure. But I think the last person in the world that you want participating in a succession plan is Bob Iger, because well, you'll get more of the same. Mm-hmm. So, is there hope? Sure. But that hope is completely, as I said before, the linchpin for that would be Peltz and other activists.
Yeah. Pro?
I think Disney has about 3 years to prevent itself from sliding into a lower tier in terms of relevancy. And that might be accelerated if they make really bad decisions this year, but 2024 is going to be bad. And that might be what the company needs to drive it to its knees and cause there to be such pressure that it cannot continue to do what it's doing. To go from 2019 to where we were in 2023, you were talking about essentially a 180 in fortunes, and 2024. I mean, they're not even putting out enough stuff for them to be humiliated.
Right. They only have 3 films that are coming to the box office that to speak of as far as the Disney brand goes. Obviously there's Fox stuff that.
Can you imagine if Inside Out 2 fails? I mean,
obviously I can, but
yeah, but I mean, can you imagine I don't know what the company does if they have nothing coming to the parks. If their new attraction is mocked, and I think it'll be so bad that even the Pixie Dusters will join in, because the Pixie Dusters are having to get their minds wrapped around the idea of defending going from 60 plus animatronics to 16. And I've seen their arguments already. Well, you always knew it was going to be based on fog and screens. Well, that doesn't make it any better. If you make me eat garbage, it doesn't matter that you told me it was garbage a year ago. I still don't want to eat your garbage. And so we're headed for a year.
Well, that's Warner Brothers. That's Oscar the Grouch. He's a Warner Brothers guy. Vash, do you have anything you want to throw in here?
Culture, do you want to say something real fast?
Yeah, I mean, to just add to what Pro was saying, I mean, remember when we, as the Disney people, used to yell at Universal and disparage them for all their screens and lack of animatronics and physical sets and all that other stuff? Mm-hmm. Yeah, how would you possibly, as a Disney
aficionado?
Well, no, I was thinking of a better term, sycophant. Yes, as Disney sycophant. How could you possibly defend Disney going more to screen-based entertainment? I mean, we've seen that decline when they brought over the Ratatouille attraction, what they did with Mickey and Minnie's bologna sausage destruction of a much better attraction, and the elimination of a huge section of park to produce the worst looking Galaxy's Edge I could have imagined, and all of the rides that are screen-based. Once again, everything that Disney has moved to is screens. Doing essentially the thing that they often called out their competition for. So yes, to add to what Pro was saying, I think it's you cannot, as a Disney show, come out and play defense on this. You just can't.
I think the only way that any of this improves is the creative has to improve. I mean, they just need a top to bottom not only a removal of the current creative, but an infusion of a really, really great talent that unfortunately has gone over to their competition in a lot of respects, both Universal Creative and some other places in the studio or in Hollywood. They need that talent first and foremost, and I think a lot of this stuff works itself out. But you have a messaging problem, right? I mean, it's what the top 5 most politically polarizing companies in the world right now. Disney is right next to FTX and Pfizer. I mean, that's not a list you want to be on, that's for sure. It's lost half its valuation since 2021. You have all of these problems that largely stem from the creative. Obviously, executive leadership has to be addressed right there. That's why it's really critical whoever is selected for that CEO position be able to enact that change that this company so desperately needs at every single level. Including but not limited to parks. To your point, culture. I think this Splash Mountain replacement project could have been a lot better had you had capable, talented artisans and storytellers in order to craft something that it was a suitable replacement for Splash Mountain. But this crop of Imagineers is clearly incapable of doing that.
Well, and again, they and this as well as anybody, because of your experience, their budget was completely nothing.
Yes, that's very true.
I mean, they were not given much.
Right. And this is one of the largest attractions ever designed and built. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
Let me just show you guys this real quick because take 2 minutes to do this. When we're talking about not having much hope for Disney, and we're talking about Disney World and Disneyland in particular, what we're talking about is they have put themselves in a corner that I don't know how they get out. And so let me show you what I'm talking. This is a map right now.
Are you talking about a corner where Dollywood is impinging on their
Dollywood's winning? I'll tell you that. Here's who would have ever thought that? 5 years ago, Dollywood is positioned they and Universal to be the most dominant theme park companies.
Can you smell the cinnamon bread, Bob?
So here is a map and with current wait times, current queue times for Disney's Hollywood Studios, and I'm just going to show this as an example of why they are utterly stuck. So 145 minutes for Tower of Terror, 140 minutes for Rock and Roller Coaster. Now, is that because those rides are that popular and this park is that crowded? No. It's because they don't have any rides. So take a look at the number of rides they have here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, because, Slinky Dog's down. 12, 13, 14, 15. Dollywood has 60 attractions. Let's say it again. Dollywood has 60 attractions. Dollywood has 60 attractions. Hollywood Studios has a baker's dozen. All right. So you don't have enough attractions. So that's why you get these massive wait times. Now look down here. Let's look this. And I love this graphic because it shows everyone the stupidity of the decisions made for these parks. Originally, Galaxy's Edge, where it is today, is over where Streets of America once was.
Yep.
This parking lot down here to the bottom right. See this parking lot? It's cast parking. That was where the original Galaxy's Edge was supposed to go. But they cheaped out because that wouldn't allow them to clone it perfectly from Disneyland, and they wanted to clone it exactly. So they put a parking lot here instead. But originally, Galaxy's Edge was supposed to connect with the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, and then you'd have kept the Streets of America and Dungeons Editions.
What's the Galactic Star Cruiser?
Oh, exactly.
Exactly.
Is this something that's coming?
And then, folks, you can still see the outline. Look at this. You see this area, this parking right here that just kind of looks weird? The reason it looks weird is because originally that was supposed to be a parking garage. That was going to be cast parking. It was going to be a parking garage that was going to have theming on one side, so it looked like mountains and Galaxy's Edge, and the other side would look like a parking garage to the rest of the parking lot, and then that would have hidden all of this. And instead, what they did is they took the path of least resistance, the cheapest, most terrible way they could, and they connected Toy Story Land with Galaxy's Edge. They paved over all the capacity they had, so they gained no capacity. Now we have a parking lot, and they have a hotel that's now closed because nobody wants to go there, which, by the way, to get from there to Galaxy's Edge in the first place, you had to take a U-Haul trailer. They put you in the back of a moving van to get you over there. They don't have anything. Look, the park, they filled it out because they encapsulated themselves. They can't do anything. That's why you hear them talking about reopening The Little Mermaid. And by the way, it won't be the Halle Bailey version. But they're reopening the Little Mermaid because they're desperate and they have no real estate. And it's not because they have no real estate. It's because they chose to lock themselves in. And then we're all sitting here looking at these stupid wait times going, Oh, so you're crowded? Wait, no, it's not because you're crowded.
Right.
It's because you have no attractions.
Before you go off of this, Pro, let's just point out what is the wait time for Disney's current premier attraction in Hollywood Studios? 120 minutes.
2 hours.
And now go up to the ancient attraction right there, Tower of Terror.
And Rock and Roller Coaster.
145 minutes, 140 minutes. I haven't been on Rise of Resistance yet, and I get it. It's there's some things in there that are good. There's some things in there that continuously malfunction. But Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror, those should not be outperforming the current largest, biggest, newest ride at any Walt Disney park.
Let's take a look, folks. Let me show you what's going on. This is how you know that I'm telling you the truth. Alien Swirling Saucers is at 1 hour and 10-minute wait.
Shoo!
Alien Swirling Saucers is basically a very downgraded version of Dumbo. Very downgraded. It's on the ground. You spin. It's essentially a carnival ride. It is a very low-budget ride. It's only at 1 hour and 10 minutes because there's nothing to do, and people are standing in line angry. And then you look and you say, well, now, wait a minute. There's a 10-minute wait for, oh, that's a museum. Oh, wait, there's a 10-minute wait for, oh, that's a theater. There's a 0-minute wait for, oh, that's a giant amphitheater. Anything that's a ride is maxed out on queue time because there's nothing to do in this park.
So we don't have any expectation that this is going to change within the next year.
This is unsolvable now, and they put themselves in this unsolvable problem of their own volition.
Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think Disney will make the changes they need to over the next 12 months, or will they continue down the dark path? Tell us your thoughts because we would love to know. This clip was part of our now regular Thursday live stream, which starts at noon Eastern time. Of course, if you're not in that time zone, just hit the notification bell if you'd like YouTube to just tell you when that is. Like this video if you like this video. If you know someone who is as interested as we are in this sort of nerdy stuff, then maybe you should share the link with them. And of course, please consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.